Hey up, from Road Racing DP here, otherwise known as Dave, and we're on for round 4 of the championship, the single player championship mode, where for this championship I'm driving for Mercedes as Nico Rosberg, but because I am driving in the Mercedes, I'm going to start all of the races from the back of the grid. So what have we got here? Quite simple, a 15-minute practice session. Then we've got one-shot qualifying, which I'll retire from. And then we have a 25% race. Now, I am just doing this for the fun of it, really. And as I mentioned on round 1, 2 and 3's videos, I'm not driving at full speed here because I don't want to give away all of my secrets and all of my tricks and all of my tips. So, yeah, I'm not going to give them away. Good chance I'm not going to give away setups either. For setups that I've worked on, they take a while to do. And I'm not just going to go, here you go, here's my setup, it's fast, go for it. For a few reasons. One, it does take a while to get some of the setups perfected. And when you've spent so much time doing that, I don't really want to just gift it to my competitors. But also, the only way you'll really know about setups is if you play about with it and work on it yourself. Also, there's a good chance that setups that I may like will not necessarily suit everybody. So I could make a setup, hand it out there, and people go, oh, that's crap. Well, it might be for you. I mean, I've tried other people's setups and don't get on with them at all. Anyway, I'll hand over to Crofty and Davidson for a moment.
30 kilometers from the capital, Manama. Welcome to the Bahrain Grand Prix, where practice is about to get underway. This weekend's night race will definitely be a challenge for some of the drivers, as not all of them have driven under lights before, so they'll need to quickly adapt to the conditions.
They will have already acclimatised and configured their normal race weekend routine to a night schedule, but I can't wait to see which driver gets up to speed the quickest in these conditions.
It's still taking some getting used to, seeing Sebastian Vettel in the red of Ferrari this season.
After so many years racing in the Red Bull colours, it's going to take a while to adjust to Seb in that Ferrari. They'll be hoping he can add to his 4 world titles with them and bring back some glory days to Maranello.
Well, with the way the season's going at the moment, he is leading the championship, so he's going to be the driver to beat. Okay, now for round here, as far as I'm aware, I don't have an actual setup that I've already done. I may have saved one for here when I did a couple of laps a few days ago. But I don't know for sure. Let's have a look. No, see, no setup. So what I'm going to do is go for my Spa setup and make a minor adjustment, but not yet. I'm just going to see what it's like on that level of aerodynamics, and we shall see how we get on. Now, it is only a 15-minute practice session. So I haven't got a lot of time to play about with setups, and that's one of the reasons why it is only a 15-minute session. I'm trying to restrict myself. But one of the things that I do need to check, there has been an update today where they've fixed apparently a number of bugs and issues and stuff like that, but they've also added the in-car basically car data, like your tyre temperatures and stuff like that. Now, I haven't actually... Oh, what okay, so triangle is replay, so it's definitely not that. Car status, that's the word I was looking for. From 2014, they have introduced it. Oh dear, they have introduced it on the update today, so I need to find out whether it's. Aha, there we go. Now the interesting thing there though is that's now under my talk to the pit button, so I'm wondering whether that has been reassigned. I should have checked that beforehand actually, but I shall. So let's return back to the pits. I'm just wondering whether it's adjusted my buttons, because I like to be able to talk to my engineer. Okay, have to go looking at a new custom. Brake, accelerate, steer left, steer right. Next camera X, previous camera square. Look back R2, yes. Left and right camera, look up and down, don't want those, don't need those. Look down, why you'd need a down, I don't know. Replay triangle, not that I really use that. R101 for gears. DRS L2, voice control has now become unassigned. Right, okay. Circle for voice control, triangle for info. Replay and flashback. Can you tell I've had a Burger King and my mouth ain't working properly after chewing on it? Anyway, so replay flashback. I mean, I don't really need them, one of those anyway. I don't really use them because you can always press pause for a replay. But okay, voice control. So triangle is now for my car info. Okay, I'm happy with that then. Now, that does mean that people are going to have to re-input their settings, because it did put the new car status over the voice control button. Minecraft noob, hello, how are you? Okay, let's get back out onto the old tarmac. Now that I think will catch a few people out, having to reassign their buttons. But what that does mean is that has cost us a few minutes of our practice session. But it is good that we do now have that. It is something that a lot of people did miss. Now, even though the tyres have been in tyre blankets and we're coming out on track, it does go to show just how cold those tyres are. The problem is I could end up watching that so much that I don't go looking at where I'm going on track. Now for the practice session, it is literally just a warm-up session for me, and to see if I want to make any minor adjustments to my setup, for example downforce. Now, the Bahrain circuit is a track that I do like. I've always liked this version of it. When they went for the longer version, I hated it. The longer section was horrible. But when they reverted back to this shorter version of this track, it is a much more enjoyable racetrack. Much faster, much more flowing. Well, the brakes suffering would not be a surprise, seeing as how much I'm locking it up at the moment, and I'm not being aggressive on the brakes, it is just locking up. But as he said, we are in the desert, and you can actually see the difference between... Yeah, you can see the difference between the racing line and the sandy parts of the circuit. Ooh, sliding a bit. Now setups on this game can be very crucial. Go too high with your aeros, you're going to be too slow, although have a lot of grip. Too low with your aeros, you're going to be fast but no grip. And there's a good chance that one of the reasons I'm struggling in the braking zones at the moment is the low aerodynamics. The less aeros you've got, the more chance of locking up, because there's less aeros sort of giving you the grip that allows you to do extremely heavy braking. Now different tracks are going to react differently to that because of track condition, temperatures and which tyre you're on, also the nature of the corners. But having done a couple of laps now, I already know that this particular setup's not quite working for me. Let's try and do another lap driving in a slightly different manner, see if I can get it to work. I do have to remember as well that I am currently running on the prime tyre. Bags of understeer there as I try and take it a bit faster. Very tricky corner this one, having the braking zone on a corner. I haven't got long left of the session. The car's definitely not quite handling how I want it to, so I'm just going to finish this lap and then make a couple of minor adjustments. Bloody Grosjean's gone fastest. Yeah, the car's struggling a little bit in the braking zones, in the middle of the corners. So as a simple setup change, I'm just going to increase the aeros a little bit. I do know that online a lot of people are going to try running 1-1 everywhere. Yeah, personally I don't think it's going to be the best at a lot of tracks. Yes, it'll be fast in a straight line, and if people are on a pad they may benefit, but I don't think it'll potentially be the best way. I mean, a good proof of this was last season on F1 2014 at Abu Dhabi, usually quite a low downforce circuit. However, those that were running sort of 4.4 aeros were putting in the better lap times and had the better race car than those on lower aerodynamics. Now, I'm not really going to get a chance to put a lap in here, which is a bit of a shame, but I'm going to be able to at least see how the car's handling on the out lap to see whether I'm going to go with it. So, you know, even on the slightly colder tyres, that corner was a doddle. No understeer. This will give me the potential of a much faster lap. I can tell that straight away. So what I'm actually going to do is return to the garage and hope that it allows me to save that setup. Be kind. Be kind. Now the reason that I went to those particular aerodynamics is because... Oh, you swine! Hopefully it'll just keep that setup on. Yeah, there's another track that I've gone on where I've used that level of aerodynamics and it worked fantastically well, so I'm going to go with it there. A little frustrated that I didn't get to... I should have saved it first. Donut.
It's 6 o'clock here local time and the sun is starting to set. Welcome to qualifying in Bahrain. Before the cars take to the track to start qualifying, who are you expecting to have a good session today?
Well, I certainly think Sebastian will be strong here. He really loves this circuit, and as long as he has the car performance, you can expect him to be right up there challenging for pole.
Okay, now it's telling me that I can load a car setup, but it's not going to allow me to edit it. And annoyingly, I overrode the bloody setup from another track the other day. Bloody hell. Now, if I just leave it as it is, I could hope that it's still got the setup on, but there's no guarantee. Really, I need to be able to go and edit my setup now. I need to be able to do that. Right, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. Well, I was going to. Right, well. Trying to think. That setup is fairly similar. So we'll go with that. What I was going to do was actually restart. But I won't. Yeah, I was going to restart and save the setup. Now, for any of you that are wondering what I'm actually doing now, is I'm not going to qualify. And the reason that I'm not qualifying is because for this championship season I am going to start from the back of the grid for every race.
For tomorrow's race.
He's really been able to connect all the dots on that lap. It was just inch perfect. What a performance. And will definitely be the driver to beat on Sunday.
Yeah, it is a little bit frustrating that you can't just go and physically put your setup on one-shot qualifying. Or when part ferme is on, by the way. If you've got part ferme on, you need to be making sure you've got a setup pre-saved that you can load.
Welcome to Sakir for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. We hope you're ready for an exciting evening's action. Kimi says he doesn't read much into securing pole for today's race and that it's only the main event that matters. There might be no prizes for pole position, but it does give the Finn a real chance to land some desperately needed points.
He was driving on another level yesterday, so it wouldn't be a surprise if he just pulls away from the field and is untouchable. But as we know, anything can happen in Formula One, so we'll just have to wait and see.
It was a good win last time out for Lewis Hamilton, who will still be feeling buoyant going into today's race. He knows he's got the beating of the rest of the field as long as he doesn't hit any reliability issues with his Mercedes.
Well, Lewis can beat anyone on his day. His pace has been second to none at times. He just has a knack of finding those extra tenths which others can't. I'm expecting him to be particularly strong at the end of the stints today.
So interesting then that Kimi Raikkonen actually got pole position. That's good for me, to be honest. That is very good, because it means that my sort of championship rivals, Vettel and Hamilton, start slightly further back. But obviously I'm starting at the back, and if you're wondering why I am starting at the back, it's because I'm in the Mercedes. So it's just to make it a little bit more interesting, because if I qualified, you'd have nothing to see other than me doing laps. Okay, so we're going to start on the prime tyre and hope to God that the setup we've loaded will be okay. I know that that particular setup is very, very close to the, I think it's either 3.2 aeros or 3.3 aeros, so it should be very similar to what I was going to use anyway. We're going to start on the prime tyres because at this track, the track's going to be quite warm anyway, and we'll use the options a little later when we can be faster. Oh, not a great start, actually a poor start. That is one thing that I haven't actually worked on yet, is the starts. I'll slowly work my way up here, see if I can find a gap. There we go. Oh, big kick of oversteer. It did not like going into second. So I must avoid first gear at turn 1. Yep, this is feeling alright on turning. The rear may be a little light though, if it is on 2. Oh, went for the undercut. Too much wheel spin now. Force him wide, make him give up the position. It's alright doing that as long as you don't push them off. Gave him a little bit of room, but he's backed out and now he's in the trouble, so we can drive away. Very oversteer inducing turn 2, that always has been. As has that corner. Well, I've just realised something that I haven't done, which I need to do. Let's move the brakes to the rear. Just helps us in the braking zones where we need to be turning and braking. Nice drift, but it's not fast. Ooh, pushing too hard, Dave. Get into the rhythm. Slower to go faster. Always works. Now this could be a track that, because of the traction zones around turn 2, or between 1 and 2 and turn 4, this could be a difficult race, because if we're getting too much oversteer we're just not going to have the speed. And whereas compared to other circuits where you can make it up through the corners, this track doesn't have many of them. So it could be a case of having to wait until we're on the options. Move the brakes back to the middle. It's getting a little too tail happy under braking. And having the brakes to the rear can help you on braking zones where you want to trail brake, but you can find that it will cause the rear end to lock up and spin around. If that's the case, you have to move the brakes forward. Now, one of the tricks that I would use in, say, league racing is to actually adjust the brakes per corner or per sector. I'm not going to do that because I'm just trying to go with it as a very sort of basic pick up and play version here. And like I said, I don't want to give away all my secrets. Oh, big lag freeze. Well, that's obviously one of the things that the update today hasn't fixed, because that bloody lag freeze just sent me right off. Now, with the update that they've done, they haven't actually said exactly what they have fixed, which I can kind of understand why, because if they listed all the stuff that they did fix, there'd probably be a hell of a long list. But there'd also be a lot of people going, what about this, what about that, what about this? Well, you've got to give them time. But it would appear that the lag freeze is definitely one that they haven't fixed. A little bit of a frustrating race, this one. I'm not able to make any headway at the moment.
In terms of fuel, we're now at about 75% of our starting load, 75% fuel remaining. Be aware, there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Well, the yellow flag gave me a chance to catch them back up. I'm going to steal a few places.
Green flag, we're racing again.
Bit more of a lockup than I really would have wanted there. Oh, Ricardo's going very slow. Oh, I'll take advantage of that one. I'll leave them to deal with that.
So you have some influence on the fast engine mode for a bit.
I think it's fair to say I've got lucky in this race so far.
Step down to the car early. We think he's got a time penalty.
Oh, Bottas in the lead.
Watch out for the car behind. He's only 2 seconds down on you. He might try and overtake if you make a mistake.
Bottas is in the lead, but Hamilton has just pitted. Come on, get it slowed down in there, Dave. Box this lap.
Okay, fitting options on your next stop. Don't worry if the car behind tries to overtake you. He has a time penalty.
Now you may notice that I selected the tyres twice then. That's because when I did it the first time I didn't hear a confirmation. So I made sure I heard one. Do it again just in case. Not the greatest start to the race, I have to say. And ideally I would have pitted a lap or two ago, but I got a little bit held up and queued up in the pit lane, you bastards. Excuse the language. The 2.4 second stop turned into a 4.4 second stop because of the cars coming down their pit lane. I need to get these tyres warmed up without killing them. I'm coming for you, Perez.
Sector 2, then the car ahead. Sector 2. Okay, the incident has been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed.
We both had a lock up on the way in. Oh, now Bottas is way too far ahead to catch, but if I can secure 4th place I'll be happy with that, with the way the race was looking for us in that first stint.
We have approximately 50% of our initial fuel load remaining. 50% remaining.
Now for this particular track, the corner we've just gone round, that left-hander, that can pretty much dictate how your race is going to go. If you mess that corner up every lap, you're going to struggle. If you can get your car set up to handle that one at speed every lap, then you'll be in pretty good shape. Because if it can handle that corner, it should be able to handle every other corner on the circuit.
It should be a few laps at least before you start feeling too many tyre issues. They seem in good condition for the time being.
Slowly catching Bottas.
Last lap. Working out the gap between you and Perez. He's dropping back by a second a lap.
Now if I was going to play about with the setups,
40% of our initial fuel load. That's 40% fuel remaining.
probably one of the things that I really would have done would have been to adjust the tyre pressure. Can have a massive effect on the overall grip of the car. If you do lower it too much though, it does mean that you can bottom out the car way too much and potentially overheat your tyres. It's definitely track dependent as to which way you want to go with your tyre pressures to get the maximum out of them. Gained a tiny bit again on Bottas, but not by much. Shame I need about another 30 laps to catch him then.
Perez's lap times are significantly slower than yours. You're increasing the lead over him by around 3 seconds a lap.
Well, one of the reasons why I'm not playing about too much with setups, an additional reason, is that by going with some of the setups that I am, it's just allowing me to have a bit of time on the track and work out whether certain setups I've already got will work or not. Whether that be low downforce, higher downforce, higher front aeros than rear, or higher rear than front, and so on. So even if a race doesn't go too well for me, I will still learn something from it. Okay then, on to the last lap. So Lewis Hamilton wins. That means he may just take the top step in the standings. Question is, where has Vettel finished? Because at least one of the Ferraris isn't in the top three. And starting from the back of the grid, I shouldn't be too disappointed with fourth place, especially with how that first stint was going. Definitely struggled on those prime tyres at the start of the race. So yeah, have a look at the car. I think what happened. Oh, Vettel dropped down. That's good for both me and... He didn't finish. It's good for me and Hamilton.
It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time though, goodbye.
That's a very good result for myself and Hamilton. Although Raikkonen, because he's up there, he's jumped me. So although yes, I've closed up on Vettel, Raikkonen's jumped the both of us. It does make it quite interesting though as we head on to round 5, which I, for that, will be ending this live stream, firing up a new one. It's just so it makes it easier for me to upload them onto YouTube. Mercedes out in the lead on the constructors. Richie Davey, how is it after the update? Can't get a full information on that at the moment because I've not gone online, but they have introduced the car status, which is a handy feature to have. As for anything else they may have fixed, won't know until I go online later on tonight and find out. But anyway, this is going to be the end of this particular video. So that's Bahrain round 4. And I'll be firing up a live stream in a couple of moments time, and it literally will be a couple of moments, for round 5, which is at Spain, a track that I kinda like, but I still wish they had the old last corners as they used to be. So for round 5 in Spain, come and find me in 2 shakes of an F1 steering wheel.